So nobody wants to come to Philadelphia. Poor Philly. Kyle Gaffner is here. I'm Adrian. Thank you. Double shot Monday. We're going to talk some, the free agency and who is still left and how the Sixers are going to reach that cap floor. And then, later tonight for our main course, we're talking some Ben Simmons. So, Kyle, let's bring him on. Hey, so you're coming back from vacation.
I am. It's been it was a nice little getaway, and now it's time to get back to business, back to getting on sports, following what our boys have been doing.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So signings that have been made so far: Jared Bayless, Gerald Henderson, Sergio Rodriguez. Not marquee names by any means. I think the Sixers have at least tried, but nobody wants to come here. That's what it is.
Still, nobody wants to come here. I think they have been trying, but it's not like the guys that we got are complete scrubs. They're going to help us move forward a little bit. They're veteran guys. They're pieces. They're the guys that can shoot. So that's going to complement Ben Simmons. But we still got a lot of money to spend, and I just don't know what they're going to do. It has to be a trade, you would think, right?
I would think so. We'll get into that in a couple minutes because I want to start with who we brought in and how they fit the team because Jared Bayless, I kind of like that signing because he's a stopgap point guard and next year's, draft class is loaded with them. So you can start him this year and you can, go get your point guard next year. The thing I like about Bayless, he's a solid defender, but he can play the 1 and the 2. And for a guy like Ben Simmons, for a guy that's going to play the 1 or the 2, you kind of want more of a shooting guard. And Bayless has been an improving shooter over the years. Shot 43% from 3 last year, so he can knock down some shots.
Yeah, I like Bayless. He can shoot, which I like. He can play both positions, and he's been a proven scorer throughout his time in the NBA. The dude can light it up, so he can catch fire whenever. So I would like to have somebody like that to complement Ben Simmons. You just got to keep surrounding with Simmons because we don't know what Stauskas is going to do. I've been watching him a little bit in Summer League, but, he might be taking some minutes away from him. But I think he might be the starting 2 guard, obviously, when the season begins.
Yeah, and then you got Gerald Henderson. Henderson is a guy that's more of like a wing defender. He's not going to shoot a great percentage from 3. He's more of like a mid-range guy. But he's a guy that can defend, and he can finish at the rim, so he'll be good on the break with Ben whenever he grabs that board and goes the other way.
He's been a solid player, for the Charlotte Bobcats when he played there for years, and then even when he went out to Portland, he did pretty good. He's just a solid NBA player. So, and then we got Sergio Rodriguez coming back over to the NBA. He used to play for Portland. The dude can distribute, so Ben's not going to play the point, or do you want to have both guys? You got 2 guys that create. We've had a lot of issues in the past with not being able to create when we traded for Ish Smith. TJ McConnell's a solid backup, but he's not going to be a floor general anytime soon.
Yeah, and that hair flip that he has now, it's degraded him as a player because he looks like a complete geek out there.
Yeah, he does. I'm not feeling that. He's got to go back to the shaved look.
Yeah, man. It's funny, though, because we're getting, a little glimpse of, how Ben can play with, a natural type of point guard. And whenever TJ has the ball, I'm like, dude, just give the ball back to Ben. Stop it. Stop trying to penetrate. Stop trying to pass. Give the ball to Ben. Get the fuck out of the way.
That's what I was saying, too. It's like we're here to watch Ben Simmons. Yeah, you have to progress with your game, too, but we're here to see the number 1 pick.
Now, the interesting thing here is now – they still have all this money to spend to reach the cap floor. So this is where we'll bring up your point. Do they try and trade for somebody, or do they try and sign a couple free agents to reach it? Because my plan was I wanted to get like an Allen Crabbe, for instance, to reach that floor. But obviously that's not going to happen now. Most likely not.
Yeah, it's not. It has to be. It has to be that because all the free agents that are still left there, even with the mass amount of money these people are getting, we're still not going to reach that cap floor. I don't think. So you would think somewhere down the road that they're going to have to make a trade, and he seems very eager to unload Noel Okafor, as he said, sooner rather than later. So seems like he's starting to get a little itchy trigger finger now too.
I just hope that he doesn't just trade somebody away just to trade somebody away. That's what I'm afraid about because, I mean, you can wait. You can wait. You can try and experiment with these 4 bigs during the season. There's no reason why you can't just remain patient at this point and just maybe make something happen at the trade deadline where somebody might get, a little bit more desperate for a big. There's no reason to do it right now. And, well, we're probably not going to get Chris Dunn either because he's lighting it up.
Yeah, we're not getting him. He's probably definitely off the board. What did I read? I saw that the Blazers could be a destination, but they're not doing it unless C.J. McCollum's in the trade offer. I don't see them doing that because they have such a nice young backcourt. Plus, he's a restricted free agent next year. So I don't see us giving up an Okafor or something just for a 1 year of C.J. McCollum. So it's going to have to be somebody that's under contract. I like a lot of guys out with the Phoenix Suns. They're very guard heavy over there. I think that would be better. But, right, we don't want to just rush this process either because we don't know what we're going to get out of Joel Embiid. So wait on it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Because, the Suns guys are, some names that have been thrown out too, like Brandon Knight, shit like that.
Bledsoe.
Yeah, Bledsoe. But, I'm just like, you can get better than that. I don't know. That's Brandon Knight is only he's basically getting almost like a Jeff Teague. So I'm not wasting one of my bigs for that. Fuck that. I want better. I don't settle for anything. I settle for everything, damn it. I want the best.
I hear you. I'm with you. But who knows? There might not be a guard out there with that type of caliber because it seems like everybody's undervaluing our guys too. But I wouldn't mind I like Brandon Knight. I think he can shoot a good percentage from 3. He can handle the ball. He can play the 2 guard here. I would want something. Obviously, Devin Booker would be a wet dream, but obviously that's not going to happen.
Oh, Devin Booker would be the guy that I'd want. See, I would do that for Booker. Brandon Knight, probably not. I mean, this goes back to my theory again of bringing in these guys that are a little bit older, and then once your core gets kind of older, he's going to be above the core, be older than the core. I don't really want that. I want a guy that's younger. So
he's about 24.
I think he's a little older than that. No, maybe I could be completely wrong. I'm going to look it up right now. He's probably younger than I think he is then.
Yeah, I think he's 24, 25.
Right, he's 24. All right, so actually that wouldn't be a bad idea. But again, I think you can get better than Brandon Knight for Jahlil Okafor, especially by the trade deadline when, again, desperate teams are going to, give you a little bit more.
As the season plays out, there could be injuries. Somebody could be willing to give us a little bit more than what we bargained for. So I'm with you 100% on that point.
Yeah. And I brought this idea up. It would take a lot of selfishness on their part to make it happen. But Kentucky, we saw Kentucky the other year with John Calipari. They had the little shift system that they had, the hockey shifts. And you can do that with your bigs. Maybe you play an Embiid with Simmons or an Okafor with Simmons, and you play Embiid with Noel, and you just kind of rotate these guys. Obviously, you want Simmons out on the floor a little bit more, but you get the picture there.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to have a slew of big men. Injuries are going to happen, but if not, you've got rotate. You've got a bunch of rotation players that you could put in there, throw out there, an Embiid, an Okafor, an Noel, and they all do different things. They're not all the same players, so it's great. We are in the driver's seat, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's no rush. There's no need to just trade somebody just to trade for somebody. But that's what I'm scared about with Brian Colangelo because that's the shit that he does.
That's exactly what he does, and he wants to – it seems to the way he's talking, he wants to bring us up to – he's talking playoffs this year. It's I feel like he just wants to get people in the seats. He's trying to appeal to the NBA maybe to get us out of the basement, so to speak, but it better be a smart, calculated move.
Yeah.
Whatever he does.
Well, to get to that cap floor, let's look at some of the best free agents left.
Slim pickings.
It is very slim pickings. Probably the 2 best guys left are J.R. Smith and Deion Waiters, and that's not good.
No, that's saying something.
I don't want those guys.
I don't want them either. I want no parts. I mean,
wait.
I wouldn't mind.
Hold up a second. I thought you loved Dion Waiters.
I don't want a J.R. Smith, but I would not mind a Dion Waiters. Depending on the money, but we really got to get up there. So if it's not going to get us penalized, fine. Give him a 3-year deal for $40 million.
No 3-year deal. That's too much. I don't want to see that motherfucker here for 3 years.
Well, I mean, who else is out there though that you'd rather have?
Well, you would have to sign like a couple of guys. Like I don't know. Like just we looked at who's still available. There's guys like Randy Foye and like Marcus Thornton and just kind of crummy names. So yes, your boy Dion is probably the best one left. But would he want to come here on a 1 or 2 year deal? I don't know. He'd probably want a more 3 to 4 years.
He wants a lucrative deal. He wants to get paid much like everybody else.
Nobody wants to pay him.
Nobody does want to pay him, but I don't know if he does want to come back home. I read reports that he wants nothing to do with us. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know if he wants to go to a playoff team or he wants to get paid, but my mind is telling me that he wants to get that bread. So he's going to be chasing that paper for sure.
Well, here's what I'll say about reports. I tend to not read reports and like take things too seriously because it's reports are just reports. They're just rumors. And Jahlil Okafor went on a rant last night and
that was awesome.
It was epic. So there's so many false reports and so many false rumors, so many false sources. I mean, we were supposed to trade for Jeff Teague and that never happened. So, you always got to take things with a grain of salt. Sure, I'll look at them and I'll read them, but I don't really believe what I see all the time.
You got to look off of who is doing the reporting. There's a lot of credible sources out there, but the choice is very slim. So, like I said, I don't mind a Dion Waiters. I wouldn't mind a Randy Foye or a Marcus Thornton either for guys that are out there, but they're not going to reach our cap number.
Yeah, you would have to sign a couple of those guys. I mean, I really don't want Dion Waiters, but I mean that's kind of the best that's out there. Let's see, I'll run down some other names. You got Ty Lawson still available, but I don't want him. Mo Harkless would be interesting because we used to have him.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting. Raymond Felton. We got Allen Anderson. I mean, these are not sexy names by any means, but you got to get to that cap floor somehow. Gravis Vasquez. No, actually, I think you said Vasquez signed with somebody, right?
He did sign with somebody. Lance Stevenson's still out there. Oh. There's a lot of bigs out there, though, too.
Yeah, well, we don't need bigs. That's for sure. Who else? Gerald Green is another one.
Gerald Green, I'd give a shot. Mario Chalmers, I don't want no parts of. Josh Smith, we don't need. I wouldn't touch him anyway. It's not a very – there's no sexy names out there, and there's no real shooters out there. But problem with Randy Foye, you're going to have to give him a 1 or 2 year deal because he's older. So when we start competing, he's going to be, nothing.
That's what I'm thinking with, like, some of these veterans. You just give them a 1 or 2 year deal. They'll just make their money, let them make their money, and then, in 2 years, they won't be on our team anymore. It's kind of like what we did with Bayless and Henderson.
Yeah. And they're on their back end of their 20s, I believe. So they're stopgaps.
Yes, absolutely. So, it'll definitely be interesting to see what they do because they are in a pickle right now.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a trade sooner rather than later. And did you also see the tweet by Nerlens Noel when Brian Colangelo was talking about?
I heard he tweeted something and then he deleted it. I don't know what he tweeted.
He said there was, I think it was about the slew of bigs, saying one of them was going to come off the bench or they're looking to trade somebody really quick. And Nerlens just tweeted, "Nah, like that's not happening." Like, no, like I don't think so, Colangelo. I'm not backing what you're putting down there.
Well, Noel's going to be the one probably coming off the bench, I would guess. I don't know. That'll be interesting because deriving off topic just a little bit. Sean Brace from Philly Influencer, he posted a question out there that was very interesting. He simply asked, who's going to be the starting 5 when the season starts? pretend like we have who we have right now. We don't sign anybody. We don't trade for anybody. And that's a very interesting question. Who would be your starting five?
Embiid.
I mean, your five guys.
I thought you meant the starting at the 5.
No. So you're going Embiid over Okafor, even though he's been injured and stuff?
Absolutely. I think he's going to get the start. He's been raring to go. He wanted to play in Summer League. They want to see what they got out of him. And is this barring if Dario Saric comes over? So I'm saying –
Well, he's definitely coming over, so that would definitely happen.
So I'm going to have Ben Simmons playing the point, even though I'm hearing he's going to be at the 4. I'll have Bayless at the 2. We're going to have probably Henderson at the 3, Okafor at the 4, and then or Okafor and then Embiid at the 5. But I think it depends who we're going to play with Okafor and Noel coming, them doing a rotation.
Yeah. All right, so here's what I'll say about Embiid. I think Embiid will start eventually. I don't think it'll be to start the season, though. I think they're going to kind of bring him in slowly. So my day one starting lineup would be like Bayless, Henderson, Covington, Simmons, and Okafor. That would be the starting 5. And then Noel would come off the bench, much to his chagrin.
Wow, really? That's really, really hurt. Who'd you have at the 4?
I had Simmons at the 4.
Okay.
But he's a point forward. He's a point guard.
Right. He is. So I think that might be a liability with the defense. Now, see, if Embiid does play with Okafor, he doesn't really have to play as good as defense if he's there because he could then protect the rim and come off the weak side.
Yeah. Well, see, I would have Embiid, Okafor, and Simmons all in the starting lineup once they get going. So that would take Covington's spot, right? So you would have Bayless, Henderson, and then those 3. But that's once Embiid gets some, minutes under him and, shit like that. Because what are they going to play in the start? I don't know. How many minutes do you think he'll get?
15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. So I think once they kind of bring him along, he'll see more playing time. And he'll start.
It's going to be exciting, man. And now that Dario's coming over, there adds another versatile big man who also plays a point forward. So it's going to be interesting what Brett Brown's going to do.
Yeah, it'll be really fun. So there you go. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here? Because the viewers right now who are watching this, we're talking Ben Simmons next. All right, we're going to talk about the Summer League and what he's doing so far. So anything you got to say before we get on to the next show?
Who do you think would be the best trade partner, and who do you trade? Do you involve Dario Saric in a trade even?
If you can get something for him. But see, that's hard too because I'm like reluctant to trade guys that we haven't seen play yet. You know what I mean?
I'm with you there too. If it gets us a really good guard though.
Yeah. I mean, there are exceptions, obviously. Like if Phoenix calls and say, "Hey, Devin Booker for Saric," fuck yeah. But obviously that's unrealistic.
Right. But that would be my thought process, and we got to sign some guys. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens. I'm just so hyped for the season.
Maybe we'll sign Yao Ming.
Yes, or Dikembe. Bring them all back.
Come back. Oh, man. Yeah, so, it'll be interesting because we got to reach that cap floor. We're kind of fucked, so we'll see. All right, for Kyle Gaffner, I'm Adrian Fedke. Stay tuned in about, say 2 to 3 minutes. We'll be doing Ben Simmons. So we're out. Peace. Actually, we're not out. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.